So what we'll talk about today is actually quite simple. In a sense, you could say it's too simple to get. Well, it is too simple to get, which sort of is the issue. There isn't an issue, but that's what you could call the issue, is it's too simple. And the simplicity is what is, whatever appears. Let's call this an appearance. Whatever appears is everything. And not only is it everything, but it is simultaneously that which is longed for. So the chair is obviously a chair, but it's also that which can't be named. It's that which can't be named doesn't become a chair, doesn't manifest as a chair. That's what can't be named, chairing. That's what's longed for. That which can't be named, you could also say, is completion, wholeness, fulfillment, purity, freedom. That's what that is. That's what that is. That's what that is. That's what this is. It's all that. It's all that already. It's done. It's complete. Now, the appearance, which is already complete and whole and fulfilled, also appears as an experience. Now, when the experience or the experiencer sees the chair, the fact that its freedom is completely lost. It's too simple. The freedom that everything is too simple for that experience of knowing the chair. What happens is there's an experience that arises, I know the chair. It no longer seems free. It seems separate. It seems like an object. It's known. To that experiencer, this entire appearance seems known. And in that way, it seems denatured. It seems lacking. It feels as though it's missing something, which engenders the need to find something else. This is no longer it. This is no longer complete, fulfilled, and whole. What's longed for or what's searched for is somewhere else. And somewhere else means in knowing something more or having a better experience. They're sort of the same thing, knowing and experience. Now that experience of knowing the chair, the experience that there's somewhere something else, something missing, something needing to happen, is actually illusory. It is the same freedom that the chair is, appearing as an experience of knowing a chair and needing something else. So in that way, that experience of looking for something, feeling like something needs to happen, is hopeless. There is no way to find what that chair is. All you can find is an object chair. And that's what happens in these meetings. This is really not talking about an object or something to learn or something to find. This isn't, the meeting has absolutely no intention to change this. This isn't going anywhere. It's already done. But what might happen is there might be an experiencer here in a body. From this point of view, they're none. But there might be the experiencer who hears what's being talked about as something to know, to learn, to practice, or to become. That's not what's being shared. All that's being said, this is it, and this is that, for no one. Simple. We can talk about it if you like. Don't have to.
On the Zoom meeting yesterday, I mentioned something about the end of suffering, right, as a topic, whatever. And very shortly after that, that's exactly what happened, was that the entire universe of suffering like evaporated. Like it never happened. Like the whole lifetime, with decades of suffering, it just had never happened whatsoever. Like, and everything just kind of was open, like openness, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then at some point, memories started coming up of this, you know, traumatic event and this other event.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if it didn't happen, like, how come there are these memories? And I couldn't reconcile the memories with this "it never happened" experience, whatever. It kind of then fizzled out just to being back to me and my life, whatever. Mm. But I just don't understand how there can be "it never happened" and yet there's memories of it happening.
Yeah. Oh, it apparently happened.
Okay, I have another thing. I just, you know, I got this before I came there, but
you got that?
I got these questions or whatever
yeah.
before I came there, so I'm prepared. But this thing about things happening and not happening, is that the same as like real and unreal, or everything, nothing? So I could say, oh, well, this history of trauma and suffering, whatever, happened and didn't happen, right? Is that
no? No, it apparently happened.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that if there's an experiencer, the experience is that what appears is real. The experience is that it went through. It had a real continuum of experience through what it calls its life. That's the experience. That never happens. That's the experience, though, is that I'm real and I live in a continuum. What this is, though, is this is an appearance. So a memory is an appearance of what may have happened. It's this appearing as that. It's not real in the same way that the separate experiencer experiences things as real. It's real, in a sense, but it's also that which is longed for. It's also nothing. That's apparent.
So right now, this that's happening in the room, whatever, is real and unreal.
Yeah.
But then it's not happening and not happening.
Well, not happening or nothing happening is just saying that all there is that which can't be named appearing. And to the individual, that which can't be named is nothing. And because it's only that appearing, nothing really happens. It only seems to, because it's only that which seems to be appearing. So nothing really changes, nothing really happens. It only apparently happens. It only seems to.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite compute, but that's okay.
Oh.
I'm good.
So, you took my big scalpel away. So,
so now you got the little.
So, right now, for example, I mean, what's happening, I look at it, I mean, as a person, I look at it as an experience. But actually, it's not.
Right.
So that experience carries as memory, even though it's nothing.
Well, for the separate experience,
yes,
everything is an experience. That's how it navigates through its imagined life.
But actually, it's nothing happening, even though I take it as an experience. I experience it as real.
Yeah.
It's nothing happening.
Yeah.
And I carry that nothing happening as an experience, and I put it in a memory, or whatever.
Well, you put your understanding of nothing happening because no one experiences nothing happening. It's not an experience. I think that's kind of what I said at the beginning, that if there's an experience here, it will understand what's being said as an object, as something to apply to its life. Applied non-duality.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying this, trying to understand what you just said. What you said.
Well, okay. This is nothing appearing.
Yes.
That's everything, and this is everything.
But me as a person, I'm going to carry it as an experience and as a memory.
Well, everything is, to the individual, everything is an experience, everything is real. Everything is separate.
Yes.
Yeah. That experience is that which can't be known as well. So, like I said at the beginning, there is no intention here for that to change. This isn't a meeting about getting rid of a me or finding something else. It's the basic message is, this is that for no one. That's it. It's not very helpful.
It is what it is, like Trump said.
Apparently, if he had said apparently, I'd have laughed.
Well, I think it was wise. I said, it is what it is. Great, you got it.
That's more acceptance. This isn't about acceptance.
Is this singular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Undivided.
So there's not like a multiple thises unfolding at the same time.
No, well, it depends. I mean, that idea is equally apparent as anything else. So if that's the idea or the experience or whatever, that's what is. That's this. It's unlimited. It's boundless. It's without any sort of regard for rules or regulations or anything else or laws. It's whatever appears. It has no need to be anything in particular or nothing or something else not. It's whatever. It's absolutely wild and free. Yeah, I know. It's very sexy.
Would you say that my trying to reconcile that it never happened with the memories is a self activity?
Yep.
Without the self, it's just, well, that's just.
What's that?
Without that self thing going on, it's just, well, that's just, it never happened, period. Like, there's no need to reconcile.
No, that's not
anything.
true. There's parent happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that changes, and so nothing in a sense changes, is it's never been real. It's only apparent. The experience that what is real, separate, is an illusion. There's no you. There's just what is and isn't.
Well, sometimes there isn't, and sometimes there is. I don't know.
Are you saying that things are only real if there's a me to say that they're real?
Well, it's not that it says that it's real. So one aspect about that me thing, the self, the person, the experience of separation, is it doesn't have freedom of choice. So it doesn't choose to see things as real.
I mean, it thinks it does, right?
No.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, well, that's an added-on thought.
Okay.
Because the experience is fundamental to the experience of being an individual, being separate. The experience is I'm real and everything's real. That's not a thought. It's an experience. It's fundamental.
Okay.
It's a function.
But without that experience,
it's a function.
And without that experience, nothing is real.
Well, or unreal. It is and it isn't. This isn't saying this isn't. It's just saying it is, but it's also that nothing. It's also nothing. It is, and it's nothing simultaneously. And that doesn't change with the experience of it being real. It's only real to that separate experience. It's still nothing. And so is the separate experience. Nothing being a separate experience.
What I'm getting from what you're saying is that to the me, it's real.
Yeah.
And to the no me, it's real and unreal.
Well, it is real and unreal, and there's an illusory experience that it's real. Still real and unreal.
Is it the same real to the me as it is without the me?
No, it isn't.
Okay. Oh, that's confusing.
No, because with that separate experience, it actually seems to be solid. It seems to have meaning,
Mm-hmm.
it seems to have purpose,
Mhm.
and it seems to have intention. And that separate experience feels like it has free will to make it into what it feels it needs to be. So it's very different in a sense.
Uh-huh.
In a sense, it's very different.
So the word real is being used in two different ways.
No? Oh, well, I guess, yeah. Real and separate. Oh, well, let's do it this way. To the individual, it's only real. However, everything is real and unreal. So it's the same real, it's just for the individual, the unreal, which is freedom, seems to be lost, seems to be missing.
Okay.
So when I'm having the dreaming illusion, and I'm being chased by a werewolf or whatever, within the context of that illusion, it's real.
Yeah.
But once I no longer have that dreaming illusion and I have the waking illusion, then the dreaming illusion never was. I mean, it's obvious that it never was real, although within the context of that, it was real. So, am I, you know?
Is it the same? No, it's not the same.
Okay.
Because there's to the separate experience, it not being real is very real. And what this is pointing to is that everything that appears is that which is longed for. Is nothing. Is that which can't be named. So the experience of real engenders a need, which is illusory. Part of that separate experience is dream. I mean, I have to say, it sounds quite special talking about it in this way. And here, anyway, when the illusion fell away, it's not actually worth talking about. It's not worth mentioning.
It's not what?
Not worth mentioning. It's not special. It's simple, it's ordinary.
When the illusion of the I falls away, the chair is just chairing.
Nothing chairing.
Nothing chairing, but the mind may still process it as a chair separately.
But there isn't anyone to know it.
Right.
So the brain
But
and
the
all-
thoughts arise of,
Yeah. But there isn't anyone left that knows that. It's just what happened, apparently.
apparently.
Yeah.
Does that, given that time doesn't exist, does the nature of that seem to shift?
Nature of what?
The nature of the experience, apparent experience of the chair seem to shift?
There is no longer an experience of the chair. Experience of the chair is knowing the chair.
Okay.
And it's not that time doesn't exist.
It appears to.
It appears to happen, yeah. Yeah, appears to exist.
This is hard to talk about.
In a way, I think what happens is we run into ideas, that preconceived ideas, and this doesn't fit with most of those. it turns the whole idea that most people have about what life is about completely on its head.
And even when there's no one there, those ideas may still try and arise.
I'm not sure what you mean. So anything can arise. It's not about that.
Right.
But there isn't anything here
Right.
that asks questions about what this is.
Right.
Yeah.
But thoughts about it may pop up.
Yeah. So contemplation or that. Yeah. Yeah. Especially a coffee in the morning. Yeah. Yeah.
How do I know that I'm awake or not?
Well, that's a
Because-
good indication that you're not.
Well, you know,
There isn't. Well, the question arises.
the question
there-
arose this morning when I was driving, and all of a sudden, stuff just was happening. And then later I noticed that I don't have the same reaction to it. I didn't have as I usually do. Well, is that, and it looked so, not so ordinary, it's the same stuff, but I don't relate to it. I
So-
didn't for a while anyway.
So this I don't know if you're talking about an effect of what we're talking about here, but what can seem to happen is if there's some sort of even understanding what we're talking about here, it can have a loosening effect on that contracted energy in the body. It can do that. It's superficial, but it can do that. It can sort of undermine beliefs about what things are, like the difficulty in understanding the concepts. It can sort of getting clear on what we're saying here can sort of loosen some of those things up. I don't know if that's what's happening.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. When there is something, well, like I see a chair, and it is a chair because I know it. Because I know it's a chair.
It's a chair even if you don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it a phenomenon that happened, and I bring in my knowledge to that phenomenon?
It's got nothing to do with an activity of bringing in knowledge. This, the brain, let's say, names that chair. Just comes up, chair. Bird flew by the other day. This brain, no idea how, says indigo bunting. Pretty cool.
What is it?
They're beautiful. Yeah, no idea. It just does that. That's what it does. It just does those things. It just has names and information and knowing how to bake a cake. And it seems to come up fairly appropriately. Not always.
So the bunting was real for you,
No.
or real for you in that experience?
No, it wasn't an experience, and there isn't anyone here to know it.
Okay.
The brain just said indigo bunting. And the folks that own the property, they have a few on the property. So chances are it might have been indigo bunting.
Or not?
Separation, or the feeling of it, or whatever the energy contraction is actually what is. It's oneness appearing as that. Why am I fighting it? I mean, that's
because
what it is. I mean, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm playing the game, but I don't like it.
that's
Well, I mean, can you say something
yeah.
about that?
The experience of separation is dissatisfying. It's unacceptable.
So what's the other pain?
Pain.
Pain.
Without all that.
Oh.
Just pain. It might feel worse, but it won't be the same sort of experience as when there's an individual having the experience that belongs to them. What's that?
Oh, individual manifestation of a specific pain, like a broken leg or...
So I don't know what that means, individual manifestation of a broken leg. If the leg's broken, there's a broken leg. If there's an individual, if there's a separate experiencer
Yeah.
having the broken leg,
Yeah.
that's different than if there's just a body with a broken leg.
Can I have an example?
Well, it did. So the individual will project all sorts of self-interest into the broken leg as to responsibility, as into consequences in the future, as to all sorts of things. It will project into that simple experience of there being a broken leg and going to a doctor and getting it fixed, or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And it seems that the pain itself is worse without a me. Me is a mediator, it's a mediating factor. So it mediates emotions and thoughts and physical pain. It blocks it and tries to dampen it and control it. It's a controller, it tries to control those things. And without a me, it seems like those things are somewhat more intense.
Yeah.
Because there's no one to control it.
Right.
It's just
And
simply what it is.
the pain really doesn't exist.
Oh, well, maybe they're not, but if I stub my toe, well,
Yeah.
if this body stubs its toe,
That hurts.
yeah. Have you ever stubbed your toe?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That hurts.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about things existing or not existing. The only thing that truly doesn't exist, truly is illusory, is the separate experience. That never happens. That's it. Everything else is just simply what it is, simultaneously nothing.
Or no.
But that nothingness, which is in a sense you could say freedom or wholeness, is hidden to the separate experience. So it seeks. And that separate experience is completely illusory. There is no separation. Everything is already done. It's done, it's complete. Yeah. So there's still time, it's just apparent. There's still pain, it's just apparent, or pain for no one, time for no one, chair for no one. But this isn't, these meetings often turn into, how do I get rid of me, or what is the me, and all those things, or the me is wrong or bad or should be changed. That's all me doing that, because this isn't doing it. That's not true on any level that there should or shouldn't be anything. There's just simply me, having a separate experience, feeling as though there is a certain amount of knowledge or experience that will make it feel better. That's this, appearing as that, so why not? Why not?
I've heard that this is the death of me, and that's what me fears the most.
Yeah? Death is all fear. Fear of death is all fear.
Can you say more about that?
But loss is death to the me. And all loss creates fear in the me. Loss of control. Loss of anything, actually. That's why, in essence, this message for that separate experience is truly unacceptable. Because it is just a message of loss.
Yeah, I could see that, and there's also the current state of affairs is also unacceptable.
That's a rock and a hard place, isn't it? There's just nothing in this message for that separate experience. It's convinced, it's part of the function of it, that there needs to be something added to it, which is impossible, for it to become whole or complete, or what it imagined. It doesn't even know what it wants, of what it imagined. It will fulfill it.
Well, it's heard that something getting taken away would make things better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wrong. That's wrong. This isn't a message of hope.
I'm gathering that.
Jim, I'm still hung up on the whole thing about being real and appearing, you know, that distinction. There's something about it that's kind of scary a little bit. Because even when there's those moments of everything and nothing, everything is nothing, it's like a real everything and a real nothing.
Oh. Well, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't get this. It's like this didn't get this. It's not like this achieved something or found even an answer. It didn't find an answer. The questions are coming from an illusory experience. There are no answers for that.
Well, something happened up there, in there, somewhere.
Well, it's the other way around. It's actually the other way around. Something stopped happening. But here's the kicker, and I mean this. Something stopped happening that never really happened. So there's only, let's say, unliberation. There's never liberation. And unliberation or not liberation is illusion. But there is no such thing as liberation. There isn't anyone to become liberated. At the same time, this is liberation. It's done.
There's moments where it's just letting go, and it seems like it could drop away just like with you.
Oh, absolutely. It's an illusion. There's no reason why I shouldn't. There's nothing special about it. It has nothing to do with earning points. God doesn't keep score. Oh, wait, he does.
The words of his
There's no one keeping track. The only one keeping track is the me. Feeling like it has something to do with it.
Well, that's the one.
Oh, come on, Jim. That's just stupid.
Well, why are we talking about me if it doesn't exist?
I know. But you know, that's a very good point. That is a very valid point. Because people ask about it. I mean, there is no me. But the thing is, you can't tell me that.
Well, actually, if I look, you know, that question, who am I can't find it, so.
No, but did you hear yourself? I can't find it. There's I looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is that some kind of poor energy pushing? I don't know. It's just, to me, I will go again.
That's all right.
I don't know. I mean, you talk about me as if it is something real, you know. And
Oh, I do my best to point out it's illusory. You might have missed that. It's illusory.
Yeah.
What?
And then it's afraid, well, if there is no cause and effect, why would be afraid? I mean, fear rises without any reason. You know, So I don't know, what is it?
The me?
Yeah.
It's a tension in the body that gives rise to the experience. The first experience is knowing. And the knowing is immediately here. It's a here-ness knowing. And out of that arises, I am here. That help?
No.
Not much I say.
No,
helps.
I understand. I mean,
Oh, I know you do.
It's clear, but it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a real beauty in the lack of helpfulness of this message. It just reflects the fact that the entire appearance already has no intention, no need to become. Not only is it not becoming, but it has no need to become. It's already done. So it doesn't see any need, it doesn't see any lack to offer help.
It's not needed.
It's not needed.
There's no one there.
There's no one.
That needs
Yeah,
help.
that's right.
Does the indigo bunting story or incident have anything to do with language being the way in which the I, me keeps on keeping on being I, me?
It has nothing to do with it. Language has nothing to do with the I and me keeping on.
And yet when it said, Tony, I guess, or whomever, it doesn't matter. It talks about at the age of when a kid, a toddler's 1.5 or something like that. And then that me comes in. Isn't it pretty directly associated with language?
No. There's no cause.
Oh. Wow.
Same with the apparent ending of it, there's no cause.
Oh dear.
I know. Just gets worse, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah. Because there was certainly that belief there, that story or that whatever, sitting in silence. A lot of us, never mind, we don't. Oh.
So it seemed as futile to try and get it because everything is already it.
Yeah.
And even these words are empty and meaningless. It's just an arising. And the same token, seeking is seen as completely useless, yet it happens. And it almost feels like no doer, like it's just, the video is on, shoot, how am I here again? And there's still a me. And it feels like that maybe that seeking energy is trying to run out, because there's definitely a felt openness, yet it's still arising, that seeking. Do you notice in others that the seeking just has to burn out?
No.
No.
No. If there isn't an I, when there isn't any seeking, the I and the seeking are the same energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be that there's an I disappearing but seeking still happening.
Mm-hmm.
If if they're seeking, that's because there's an experience of separation.
Right.
But the I of the seeking is more likely to happen here.
Oh,
Is it
sweet.
not? Apparently.
Oh, right. Is that how it is there?
Well, no, it seems like from history you concluded
That seeking
there's
happens
something
more
in
here.
the live interaction with a non that something drops away.
Oh, yeah, that I did say that. I say something like that. That's not a promise, but there does seem to be some sort of interaction. And I also say, I think pretty much every time, this is, you could say the message is a mirror without any reflection. It gives nothing back, it shows nothing. But absolutely everything else in the world, in the, you know, around, the trees, the tarmac, the cars, are all saying exactly what this is saying.
This is more likely to happen here, though.
Well, I don't know that that's true. I don't know. We'd have to take a statistical analysis. I mean, I don't know that that's true. Don't know how often it happens. It's not special that it happens. There's no reason why it shouldn't. But there's certainly an energy about talking to nothing. Can't quite have the same conversation with the tarmac, with the paved road. Although it probably gives equally as helpful responses.
Maybe better.
Should have been less confusing.
We should try. I think. No, I'm serious. I think this might foster a different conversation if we have it outside.
Oh yeah,
You
we
know,
were sitting outside.
have you done this or walked around while you're being nothing?
No. We were at a retreat. They had a pavilion. We sat outside. It was lovely.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking like almost like a walk. You know.
Well, go.
Well, go with me.
Oh no.
Like,
No, we got sort of.
Everyone go with me. Field trip outside. Get your note from your mom.
So basically, there's no difference if the me stays or if the illusion is seen through, it's all the same. So there's really not a matter there? Or?
So it's not seen through. There isn't anyone to see through it. And it's worlds apart.
Mm-hmm.
So what I see, all my, whatever I do in seeking activities and whatever, that's actually, I have no choice in that. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
I think the confusion is that it's already whole
Yeah.
and complete. Did I take some of this?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your mouth moving. I thought she was talking. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. The confusion is it's already wholly complete.
Yeah, it's already whole and complete, nothing to get, nothing to know, and yet there's still that me, that I am experience grasping. And so...
But let's be clear, it has no idea what whole and complete means.
But there's a world apart between being a me and not being a me.
Yeah.
So, but even if you're a me, it's still whole and complete.
Yeah. But you can't tell me that.
It's kind of relaxing if you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
It can be very
What the
relaxing.
heck? I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
have any choice, I don't have any, so what I'm doing is, well, you know, why am I taking myself?
But let's be clear. So I don't have any choice, is just simply understanding put on top of the experience of having choice.
I got that.
Because if there's an I, the experience is I choose.
Yeah, I'm in that
This is
loop.
just-
I'm in that loop now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, where do I get off?
Yeah, this.
Yeah, it's this, but
This is all.
this, but how is it? Yeah.
There's already, you're waiting for there to be no one, right? There already isn't anyone there. No one,
It's not.
you don't actually have a me that falls away. There's just, it becomes obvious, there never is me. There is no separation. Obvious to no one.
That's a debate that's going in here.
Yeah. Hmm.
I heard Tony Parsons, I don't know if you have the same thing, saying that whatever experience you have, I mean, your life experience as a separate person, is an invitation to kind of to be awake, to wake up.
Oh,
So do you have that?
no, what does that mean? Your life experience is an invitation to wake up. I don't know what that means.
Well, I don't know either, obviously. I think he explains it in the sense that, you know, what is offering you your life experience to find out that it doesn't really work.
Oh, right. Right.
That's it, you know.
No, I can't say that that has any value at all. That frustrating yourself by recognizing that satisfaction is not the same as fulfillment will at some point wear you down so that you give up. Doesn't happen. This isn't about you giving up. The end of that illusion isn't in relationship to what the illusion thinks, feels, experiences, or anything else. That relationship doesn't exist. Because that illusion is that which can't be known already. There is no bridge because there's no separation, which is why no one becomes liberated.
So is this seen as like one real, unreal happening here?
Is that how it's seen there?
You speaking, is it me speaking, the clock ticking, everybody here is one non-separate.
That's how that's seen? That's how that sees this? I don't know what you're saying.
How it's arising?
Is that, are you describing what's happening
I'm
there?
trying to figure out what non-separation.
Right. That's a good one. No, you can't.
It just looks the same?
This didn't figure it out.
Okay.
So in that way, nothing was gained here. So there's no authority and nothing to give and no one to give it to. I can say though, it doesn't all become one. It's just not two. In the sense that it's all nothing. It's all nothing being this. It's all that which can't be objectified, appearing as object. And it's not, there's no source to the objects. That which can't be objectified isn't a source. This is that. This is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where the wow factor comes in. It's like,
Man.
how is this new every, yeah.
I heard a message in recovery from alcoholism. It was actually a question, but it seems like a question, but it turns out to me it wasn't a question. The question was, it says either God is everything or God is nothing. What is your choice to be? So for me, I was not religious or spiritual, kind of a blank slate. So it was like trying to make a decision. It was going with everything. Then it was like, okay, let's look at nothing. You know, I kept trying to choose right or wrong, good or bad, this or that, should or shouldn't. But then it was pointed to that maybe nothing is not what I thought. That maybe nothing means no thing, not a thing. So then it's maybe that everything is more of a verbing, that God is not a thing. It can be pointed to that maybe that. So it seemed there wasn't a choice there. You couldn't really choose everything or nothing. It was. Once that was kind of seen, there was like, it seemed like I was possibly blocked from a God. And when that was kind of seen, there wasn't any separation there. It was like, it's already been, it already is. There's no getting to or getting away from. I didn't do any of it. So now it seems like when there's glimpses or times when the illusory me has fallen away, it's never noticed. It's only when that contraction happens, in the sense of a me comes back, then that's what's observing, like, what just happened, how did that happen, how do I get back there, like, it's only that, the sense of me isn't there, it doesn't know that it's not there, it doesn't. But also when that's happening, I'm trying to remember that that's also part of this, of everything. Because the me wants to see it as separate, a separate event, you know.
Well, it feels separate. Yeah.
But that really, you know, letting go, I was asked a question, you know, like when I was in a lot of suffering and resistance, you know, I was asked the question, who am I? Like I never really, that seems like to be the main stem of it, who am I? You know, there's always I am suffering, I'm experiencing resistance. It's like when you, who is there to suffer, who is there to experience resistance? It's like, holy shit, there's, you know, really what I'm suffering from and resisting from is my memory, my imagination.
Oh, that's not true.
You don't think so?
No. No, because memory and imagination are just simply, well, in your words, God being everything. It's the experience that memory and imagination belong to someone.
Well, that's what I meant for
that they're real.
In the sense of the contracted energy of a me seems to be that that's what it seems to be.
Right. Oh, but it sounded like you were doing a practice.
It's never not here, it's always in past or future.
Oh, that's not true either. Its fundamental first experience is here. You can't find it, I understand that. That's part of the practice of who am I. But it's still, that practice comes out of the sense of separation, trying to find something.
It gets harder and harder to talk to you because it's like, I figured it out. And you're like, no, I figured it out. I got it like this. No, is it like this? I got to figure it out. No. It's like again and again and again. But at the same time, it's like not saying anything doesn't work either. I don't know.
It's like, it always comes back to the me whenever it thinks it knows. It's like, oh, that's it. Wait, no, it's self again.
Yeah, exactly.
Trick, you little bastard.
And then to see that that doesn't, that, let's see, there's no choice in that either. Like, oh, I don't want to speak again. Well, good luck with that. It's like, no choice, no choice, no choice, no choice. At least you're not saying, no, there's no you to make a choice. But there's, some a little bit freeing in that. I better stop there.
But there's something in the interaction, as you say, it's not the words, there's like some energetic thing going on. Because it's like, when I interact with you, there are these shifts or whatever, moments, you know, the openings or whatever, that don't necessarily happen otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably reiterating what I said, but it seems like it's trying to grasp at a mirage, and we just, it's pointless. And yet it's still happening, and I want to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
It's like, stop it.
Mm.
But it doesn't. It just has a mind of its own. It's just,
Well, stopping it would be the same energy of trying to make something happen.
yeah. And so then it becomes like applied non-duality through my life.
Well,
It's
trying to
like,
stop it is applied non-duality.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's empty. He said that, doesn't matter, they're empty. You know, it's all applied, but that shift hasn't occurred.
It never does.
And that's the conundrum. It's so mind screwy, just you can't wrap the mind around it.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, the concepts I actually find are not so complicated.
Yeah.
They seem straightforward. What the consequences are, especially when the me wants to understand it or work it out or get something out of it, then it can get very complicated. But it doesn't happen, a shift doesn't happen, because there isn't anything to shift from. There isn't anyone to shift. It's an illusion. So the experience that something has to happen for this to be whole is an illusion. It is whole. The problem for the experiencer is that it wants to know that it's whole. And like our friend back there says, no one knows there's no one.
Right.
No one knows this is whole. So the individual is on a very small circle of trying to find what can't be known, trying to make what can't be known known.
But apparently there's some sort of energetic shift between being the knower and the unknown.
But it's not real. It's not a real shift. It's not a shift that happens to someone. It's not an experience. It's not something you can take with you. There's nowhere to take it and there's no one to carry it.
I seem to be approaching sitting here a little differently over time. Like, I know what it's like to be frustrated, trying to figure out what you're, like the concepts that I don't get. And like today, I'm sort of like, okay, whatever, you know. There are concepts. Yeah, I mean, there are concepts that I do get, and I'm fine, you know, and if I don't get it, fine. And like I feel better, like just sitting here I feel better, and I like the jokes. You know, well this like, you know, sometimes I wonder why I keep coming back, so those are reasons. So I don't know where all that is going, but is that typical? Like,
I don't know about typical, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels better to not try to figure it out.
I know, I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
And it has no value figuring it out either. Like, I think we talked about this once, about the excitement that can come up hearing this first. And the sort of the enthusiasm and also the sense that things are happening or falling away or all those things feels like it has to do with the individual understanding it and putting it together. But when that stops happening, it can be really disappointing and frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sort of suspicious of feeling better. Like, when's the shoe gonna drop? Why is that so funny?
It's so funny. I mean, what does the me want? A better experience. Oh, this is better. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how it always is. It gets worse.
Maybe it's better for no reason. But you like the jokes, right? I've got a joke. Have I told a joke here before?
No.
Oh, good. Well, then maybe you haven't heard this one. All right. Gotta remember it. It's a good one. So Fred gets a call from the tax people, and they say, you need to come into the office. He's like, all right. So he immediately, of course, calls his tax guy, his lawyer, and says, tax people called me and said they want to see me. They've made an appointment, you got to come. He's like, right, let's do it. So they get into the office. Days come, they're sitting there at the office. And Fred says, you know, Mr. Taxman, what is this about? And the taxman says, well, Fred, you have large income, you know, quantities of money coming in, but you don't have a job. You don't, there's no declaration of where this money is coming from, and so it's a little suspicious what's going on. And he goes, well, I like to make bets. He's like, what does that mean? He goes, well, I'll give you an example. He says, he goes, all right, to the taxman, he says, I bet you $10,000 that I can bite my eye with my own teeth. Taxman's like, well, you can't do that. That's not possible. He goes, I'll take it. Go for it. So Fred takes out his eye, bites on it, pops it back in. Taxman, very disappointed. He goes, well, that's how I make my money. The taxman's pretty distraught. $10,000 for a tax guy. I don't know what they make actually, but probably, I imagine, a chunk. And Fred goes, no, just a second. Look, I don't want to be mean to you. I was just making an example. Let's do double or nothing. And the taxman goes, no way. I'm not getting into that. He goes, well, wait, just a second. I bet you $40,000 that I can pee from standing here on this side of your desk all the way across the room into the trash can without spilling a drop. And the tax guy thinks to himself, well, that's not possible. He goes, all right, I'll take it. So he stands up, he zips down his pants, and he pees all over the taxman's desk. And the taxman's like, yay! And his lawyer's going, oh. Taxman goes to the lawyer, why are you unhappy? On the way over, he bet me $20,000 that he was going to pee all over your desk, and you were going to be happy about it.
He does have a very large income.
guess I know what you're going to say, but I'll ask the question anyway. Does losing interest in your thoughts help? In, you know, thoughts that...
No, I get it.
Okay.
If everything is that, if everything is whole already, and wholeness is what's longed for, what helps it become whole?
It doesn't need any help.
Yeah. The biggest problem for the me is there isn't actually a problem.
It's sort of like me equals problem.
Well, need.
Oh, yes.
Dissatisfaction, discontent.
Yeah, but also I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, I just heard me equals problem. Well, if there's no me.
There's no problem. But there's no problem even if there is a me. Not in that way.
Yeah.
Losing your leg could be a problem, but...
So there's nothing stopping me from, no enemy stopping me from waking up?
No. There's absolutely nothing stopping the end of being asleep. There isn't actually a waking up. It's a loss. This is about loss. The loss of the experience of being asleep.
Isn't losing interest in your thoughts a loss?
Well, even a small scalpel's too much for you, isn't it? Give you a chopstick. Just one, though. I can't do anything with it. We should scoot the chair. I'm black belt karate. Just so you know.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's either going to blow up or it's time for a break. I guess it's time for a break.
Coffee's not done.
Oh, it's not?
I think the water. Sorry, it's only halfway done.
Wah, wah.
Wasn't there?
I saw a cartoon drawing. It's a man that found the lamp with a genie, and he rubs it, and the genie comes out and grants no wish. And he says, "My wish is I wish I didn't exist." And the genie's like, "Wish granted," poof, and the guy's still standing there. He's like, "Wait, nothing happened." And the genie's like, "Look again." That was it.
You know, what we're talking about can't be remembered. So there's something about hearing it. Because it can't be held on to. As soon as it's held on to, it's an idea or a concept or understanding. And not the freshness of this.
Can you get it from a book?
Yeah, absolutely. My book.
That's what I thought you might say that. I didn't know you had a book.
I don't. It's a very easy read.
But the illustrations suck.
What's that?
But the illustrations suck.
Illustrations suck?
Illustrations.
Oh, the illustrations, right, yeah.
But when it's seen, it's obvious that it always was correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's nothing to lead up to that. It's
Well, this is that. The whole experience that there's somebody moving through time and that in some real future, something real will happen that will really make you free is just part of the story in me. This is the end of separation. It's just, that's just it. There isn't any.
so even if you feel it or you don't, it's still not
It
separate.
was not a feeling.
Yeah.
Not being separate isn't a feeling.
Difference between now and when the body dies.
Well, I mean, of course there is. It's the same as is there a difference between using a hammer to hit a nail or using a hammer and hitting your hand. There's a huge difference, but it's both what is.
I mean, I understand the concept that, you know, when the body dies, then, you know, the supporting structure for me also goes away.
That's right.
And you just kind of like, you know, just
Yeah.
revert back to whatever.
Oh.
I mean, not
Where are you going to revert to?
to what is, I mean,
No, but that's already.
in other words, the me disappears and that's it.
Well, it doesn't actually disappear. It never was.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Do you feel that there's an energetic clinging to the me that prevents us from seeing this?
No.
No.
Not like you described it. There's nothing to cling to me. But me clings to, so that's actually the energy of me, is clinging or holding or having or knowing.
So as long as the knowing is arising, then the sense of self will arise along.
So, well, no, that's the same thing. It's the same thing, they're indistinguishable.
Okay.
The story, the knowing, the me, it's all the same energy.
I had the thought that anything I want will lead me nowhere. And then I was wondering if, like, the experience of wanting anything arises in you.
Well, it's not in me. There isn't actually an in me.
Or from there, or...
Well, there isn't a from here. There's just what is.
Okay.
But in what is, wanting arises.
Wanting arises.
Yeah. It's very refined, though. I'm just
So the wanting to live longer then, as we were going back to the conversation about that?
So,
You
I
said
think
why, you
it's-
said why would you want, the question is, why would you want to live longer?
yeah, this doesn't
What
want
is
to
it?
live longer.
This.
This doesn't want to live longer. I mean, the body naturally takes care of itself and does what
Right.
it does. But there isn't any sort of, there's a nervous neediness of the me to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's imposed upon the body as long as it's there.
Mm.
And the idea is that if there's just not enough. What it wants is more and more and more
Life.
experience.
Experience.
Yeah, because the idea for the me, the experience of me, is that what's longed for is hidden in knowing or experience. And it's not. And so what it gets is satisfaction. And satisfaction is not fulfillment, it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And so it actually drives need. And so it's just a circle of need, wanting to go on and on and on. But in actuality, there isn't actuality, but in actuality, there isn't actually another experience. There isn't actually something else. There is only
After.
what is. No, not what is, not after. This. There's nothing other than this. What is. It's not coming from anywhere or going anywhere. And so there is no need, and it's not happening for anyone. So there is no need for it to continue or to become anything. So there's no need, the body naturally survives. It does that completely on its own. It doesn't need an individual, but there's nothing inside of it that wants to live longer, that cares. What is what is, no matter what it appears as.
So the apparent dropping of the need is an energetic shift, could we say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently there's no rhyme or reason when it happens.
Yeah.
It just, so there's nothing that I...
Well, it doesn't actually happen.
Okay.
It's the end of something that never happened. That you made a choice today, that you drove here, that you came here, that it has something to do with you, that you're experiencing this, is a dream. It's a dream, which has as a goal, if we're in this meeting, as the end of me, let's say. But none of that ever happened, not really. It's an apparent happening. There isn't anyone sitting here, so there isn't actually anyone going towards any goal. So the apparent happening, whatever that might be, doesn't happen for anyone because nothing actually happened. It only appears to happen. The me living in a real experience is waiting for a real happening to make this fulfilled. It is fulfilled. There's nothing that can happen to make it more or less fulfilled. It is that way.
But it thinks it's not.
It's actually it's really profound feeling. It's a feeling that this isn't it. Something needs to happen.
Is that feeling recognizable by me?
No. I mean, the outcroppings of it, sort of manifestations of questions about what this is, why is this, who am I, all of those come out of
It's all
the experience.
evidence.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's not a good word.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Good enough. B minus.
When you say nothing has ever happened or whatever, coming to this meeting is...
I did say it apparently happened.
Right. I think I'm trying to say something else. Whatever was done, okay, to get here.
Well, nothing. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, for me. I mean.
But you're not here.
I understand that. Now I'm trying to explain. To myself actually.
You can't.
So it's just nothing, right? I mean, nothing. Nothing is always nothing.
Yeah.
So driving was nothing.
Driving.
Getting here was nothing.
Getting here.
So it's always a nothing. But I say, but the person in me says I did this and I did that, but it's actually just nothing arising as nothing.
You got it.
So, yeah.
That's not a happy place to be.
Really? No. That's why we all cry at these meetings. There's lots of tears. Well, normally, today's unusual.
If you're not crying, you're not getting it.
When someone asks you a question and you reply, "You're not here," who are you talking to?
The experience that someone's there.
Who's the experience though?
The illusory experience that there's someone there.
On both parts? Okay.
Because the question is a claim that someone's here.
Right.
Right. And there isn't.
So you could talk to an illusion.
No, well, in a sense, yeah. In a sense, the illusion experiences or takes on what's happening as though it's real, but there isn't an illusion. It's an illusion. There isn't anything.
In a sense, what you're saying is nothing.
Yeah.
So just, no, I mean, it's just sound coming out of nothing. And we give it whatever, chain of, the sounds kind of chain, and we'll give it something because we learned that that means something. So it's just blah, 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 blah.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah.
Got it.
The phrase "it's the wrong tool for the job" keeps.
Yeah. There's no job.
Yeah, and no tool.
Mm.
No, wrong.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, it just keeps, you know, that you have no choice about whether or not you're going to speak, and you have no choice about what you're going to say. I mean, it just keeps sort of, I don't know, it feels like a sort of a, whatever that is, kind of a backwards.
That's looking for something. It's trying to get behind it.
Oh,
To get behind, to get behind, to get behind it. It's like
Oh, yeah,
meditation.
yes, yeah, okay, in that way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, yeah. There is no such thing.
As behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it?
I think what we're talking about is nothing. There's nothing, well, you could say this, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing hidden. There's no mystery.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff you say, I just have to take your word for it.
Oh, don't do that.
You need to read your book, right?
Yeah.
It's very effective.
It's a very easy read.
Yeah. It's very effective at pointing at nothing.
Yeah.
It's not very expensive.
Well.
Yeah, right.
So basically, the me is already the illusion, but we ask questions trying to validate the me, and just perpetuates the more seeking and questioning.
That's not necessarily true. So it seems that they come from different energies, the question.
Okay.
They aren't all, some do. But not all do. Sometimes they come out of an openness. And it doesn't really matter where they come from. I mean, nothing really matters in the end.
So openness does not pertain to the me?
No.
No. Can a me be open?
No. Well,
as
not
a personality.
Not in the way I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Open to something beyond getting.
Yeah.
Something other than looking for something for itself.
Yeah. If you stop trying to figure it out, is there more room for the openness?
Nope. It's got nothing to do with it.
So both can be operating.
Oh, well, they do operate together. Absolutely. I think most people in this room will have some degree of wanting to find something and some degree of openness. That's why you hear, I mean, I hear quite a lot. I don't know why I'm here. Or the frustration of not getting anything. Or the idea that it's a sad message. Because there's nothing in it for you. But still there's people here, well, bodies. And they even sometimes report feeling better and not knowing why.
Mm-hmm.
So nothingness is everything.
What's that?
Nothingness is everything.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, nothing. There's not actually a nothingness. It's
Nothing is everything.
Nothing is
So there's nothing to do.
There's nothing happening. If there's a separate experiencer, there'll be the experience that there's something that needs to be done. But regardless, there always seems to be something happening.
Sure.
There's just something happening. There's just something.
It's popping up, it's arising.
Well, this does things, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually pop up. But this does, obviously, it does. It's incredibly active. It does amazing.
There's this.
No, she's laughing at me. Accomplishing all sorts of amazing tasks.
There's this stump in the yard.
I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook when it's gone.
Yeah, you're just going to take a picture of somewhere else.
Oh dear. This isn't, just to be clear, it's not about what seems to happen. It's that this already isn't happening for anyone. There isn't anyone for it to happen to. There is no one. It just happens. Okay.
So every time I try to formulate a question, it's like I already know the answer, and over there, there's no knowing. So it's just spontaneously whatever, yeah. So that would be one of the differences, or the main, yeah.
Well, there's no question here.
Yeah. So then it's just responses, but no knowing behind just simply a response.
Yeah.
So that's like wild and free because you just don't know what's going to come out.
You don't either.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if I rehearse it a lot?
You still wouldn't know.
But
You
then-
might not. You might be dead. You might die. Oh no. What? You don't know.
But does it seem like, maybe there's no knowing, but does it seem like the character's personality or traits might have shown through or changed a little bit or modified?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The character is then free to just be what it is. For the me, it's got ideas about right and wrong, good and bad of this, and so it's like a straitjacket on the character. Because the character is not, doesn't necessarily, isn't necessarily always what the ideas that the me has about what life is, doesn't always correlate, doesn't always correspond. So it restricts it.
Follow up on that. Do you think when you talk to us about something, now it sounds like, concepts and ideas. Do you think in concepts and ideas?
There isn't anyone here.
So it's me that's actually making what you say into concepts.
Yes. Well, hold on a second. It's the me that makes what's being said here an object. Because they are concepts, but they're simultaneously nothing. They come, so you could say what this meeting is where these words come from. They come from nothing. It's the energy of nothing that they carry. Now for the me, it might only understand or see or get the concepts, the object, and miss the lack of objectification of it, the simplicity of it, the unknowing of it.
So you're just saying words as they come out from nothing?
There's no one here.
I mean, whatever is coming out of there is just words, but to me, I make them into an object, a concept.
Okay, so it's not as though there's an activity of making them into objects. It's a function. So the me doesn't have a choice of not doing that. It doesn't have a choice in that. It just does that.
Yeah.
That's its function. It sees the entire appearance as an objectified reality, a solid, real objectified reality. Here, it's an apparent objectified reality. It's not, there's no one to know it is. There isn't someone here that is unsure if that's a chair or not. That's a chair, and no one knows that.
And you would say this is somewhat dreamlike because it's not material.
No, it's not dreamlike.
No. So real and unreal would be the proper verbiage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is that. I like that a lot. This is that. This is that. It's the same thing. The chair is that which can't be known. It's that. I've sometimes thought that maybe that's what prayer is about. Putting this and that together. Making it, acknowledging in some way the wholeness of everything. I don't know. Seems that way.
Sounds good.
Doesn't it?
I like that. It seems like there's a lot of projection. Like I was hearing when this gentleman was saying whatever he was saying, I kept hearing, well, it's the same here as there, and it's the same, and that the only difference is that we're thinking it's otherwise. No.
It's an experience.
Oh, okay. In other words, it's not simply thinking, it's the experience.
The experience or that the thinking belongs to someone. There's thinking here. It's just no one thinks. They're just thinking. If there's someone, the sense is, or the feeling is, I think. Here's anything as understanding, or not understanding, or need, or want, or no need, or want, or whatever comes up. Chairs and floors and ceilings and fans. It's all that. It's all that.
So I don't have a choice in seeking, and I don't have a choice of not seeking. It's just what it is. It's just seeking or not seeking, or seeking.
As long as there's a me, there's a seeking. If it claims not to be seeking, it'll be hoping that someone's listening.
Yeah, but I don't have a choice. I mean, there is no I to have a choice.
There isn't, but as long as there's the experience of an I, there will be the experience of being in control.
Or wanting to be.
Yeah.
Never is.
No, but that's just a concept. As long as there's an individual, the experience of being in control, and the experience of seeking, and the experience of needing to seek is part and parcel of that. It's just what happens. It'll be the experience that what's happening is real, or that what's happening is happening to me. That's the experience of separation. It's illusory, but understanding that concept is not what we're talking about. And none of the aspects or functions of that separate experience have anything to do with that separate experience apparently continuing. They are part and parcel of that function.
What keeps the separation arising?
There is no separation.
The sense.
The sense of separation is what keeps it continuing is the sense of separation.
So it just is.
Only apparently.
Yeah.
It's only illusory. It's a self-confirming experience.
Yeah. It just seems frustrating when you're wanting to drop that me. And
Oh, you don't. Oh, you do not want to drop the me. You couldn't. That's the experience that something could happen to make this whole. There isn't a me to drop. And the me can't want nothing. Its idea is that dropping the me is something for itself.
Over there, there's nobody.
Over there, there's nobody.
There's nobody.
Yeah.
But the difference, you could say, is that there is a felt sense of presence of being embodied.
Yeah.
Where over there,
there
isn't. So that's an apparent difference.
Yeah, that's true.
And that apparent difference can feel frustrating.
Yeah.
Really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
Because it seems like when you hear words like it's so apparent, obvious, it already is, you're trying to feel into that, but it just feels so far away. It's,
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's just a concept. I can spit out the words.
Yeah.
But to act, that shift, okay, it's not a shift. I don't know how to say it, but, you know.
I do hear, I hear that.
Okay.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet feeling like a me is still whole and complete.
Absolutely.
So.
But for the me, that's a concept.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You said a few minutes ago something about the me has a sense of control.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reconcile that with my sense that I really don't have control over most things.
Right. Yeah.
So how do I reconcile that?
Well, that'll be the sense of control. The sense of loss of control is also, it's like feeling hopeless is the same sort of thing as hope, it's just on its head.
Okay.
the sense of being out of control is the same thing as the sense of being in control.
Okay, so there's a continuum of out
Yeah.
of control to control,
Yeah.
just like hopeless and hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're all the same energy.
Huh. Huh. Even though the concept of not being controlled sort of feels more freeing to me,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
but that doesn't negate.
Well, I think if that's an idea, I think what you're thinking about is sort of a concept of not needing to be in control. Because actual
Yeah.
loss of control is terrifying.
I don't know that for myself.
No.
Yeah.
Loss of control is terrifying, but along with that goes the end of personal responsibility, which is like the opposite of terrifying. It's pretty
Well, there already isn't any personal responsibility.
the experience of
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it might sound good, but nobody gets it.
you can't get
There's no one to get it.
Only one to be terrified by it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Still waiting for the terror.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you can have some.
So I think the frustration is, I'm asking, or we are all asking these questions in order to rehabilitate the me.
Yeah.
And I know it can't be. It's just like, well, there's a little hope, let me ask these questions. You're like,
Yeah.
but there's no me, if there is no me.
So there really is no experience of ownership or doership over there in that body?
No.
And everything that happens just happens, like the weather, like the wind and the sun, it's just so...
Thoughts, feelings, wind, sun, it's all just what appears.
Just conversation, drinking coffee, whatever, it's just...
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same there.
Yeah, that was my question. It's same here, I mean.
It all just appears. But there might be the experience that it appears to someone or for someone.
Well, that's the problem.
It's not, it's not really a problem.
I mean, I get it, that, yeah, whatever happened, whatever is happening there is
Yeah.
also, there is no difference. But how come I don't get it?
No,
I don't feel
this didn't get it.
That's the question.
A question?
Yeah, that's it. How come I?
How come I don't get it? I know. Though I think Jim, in the story of Jim, it got pretty intense, the seeking. And then I just started going to gurus, and they all said all this wild stuff, all these things. And I said, how do I do it? It's just like, tell me now, how do I do it? What do I do? And they all gave me an answer until I met Tony. And he said, there's no you. And I hung up the phone.
Wrong number.
And then I called him back.
You really hung up the phone?
Oh, I did. Well, not on him. It was just, there was nothing, it was unintelligible. There's just nothing to do. There was just, that was the, yeah.
When I first heard this message, or even last time I talked to you, I mean, kind of, the me came out really strong.
Mm.
Is that, I mean, can that happen? I mean,
Oh, of course. So,
It came out
so I called him
really-
twice, right? I might have called him 1,000,000 times after that. But then I went to see him. This is a story, right? That there was a gem and a real past, that something really happened. But anyway, I went to see him. I didn't sleep for the entire weekend. I arrived there in Nice, I think it was. I asked questions without pause. I don't even know if there was anybody else in the room. I just asked and asked and asked. Went back and my brain just went.
Yeah,
It just went, I mean, it just wouldn't stop. It was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It just went on and on and on and on.
Yeah,
That's a story.
yeah, that's the story.
Yeah.
Recognizable.
You recognize that? At the same time, it was like, well, that's fucking amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that the first time that you had been told there is no you, or?
No. No, it isn't. It comes up a lot around. I've heard a number of, I guess, call them teachers or gurus, say that. And then they'll tell you what to do about it. So it didn't have the same energy of, maybe because of where it was coming from, or maybe as well as it's couched in all of these suggestions of what you should do about the fact that there's no one there.
So was it there's no you and versus there is no you, stop,
Period.
period. That was the difference.
Yeah. And I venture to guess that even though some of those teachers said there were no you, the fact that they said there was something to do meant there was still an experience of someone and someone with free will. And that, and the implication of something to do is that there's really separation and that it can be overcome through some activity. That's not the case. I mean, if there is not two-ness, right? What's that?
It's kind of like
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
cosmic,
The
What do you think it is that so many teachers today sort of trace their lineage back to this one person, Tony Parsons?
Oh, well, that's where they heard it.
But he's not the only teacher who. What is special about him? And this is an academic question, but just he seems to have an outsized influence on the non-duality world right now.
Well, if we start from, if there is such a thing, it's not a thing, but if this is not two, what to do about it? What could be done? If it's already not two, what could possibly happen to make it not two? So all the other teachers suggested there was something to do about this being not two. Tony was the only one who had no suggestion of what to do about this being not two. Because what seems obvious to me is, it was obvious that to him that if there is not two, there's nothing to be done about it. There's no separation already. And
So again, the key distinction there is no you. Stop. Period. That's it. That is really, that's all.
And the implication is there's no separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no you and there's no separation. So no suggestions,
Yeah.
no teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a powerful message.
Are you familiar with the UG Krishnamurti? You know, he said something like that.
He did, yeah. Yeah.
He was really pretty bad. I mean, he's strong. I mean, he comes out.
Yeah, he seems angry sometimes. Yeah.
But Tony has more direct.
Yeah. Yeah, Yuji was a little bit of a philosopher, and also had a lot to do with, had a lot of opinion about society and how to act, and just had a lot of that added on. But,
Is there any phase in your story where you lost ability to function to some extent, or not really?
yeah.
How significant did that get?
It's just a story, right? And I don't think it's valuable to talk about.
Okay.
But pretty significant. It doesn't seem to be common or necessary. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, comparing to, you're assuming that this functions now. It might not have been far from completely dysfunctional to this.
Small leap, huh?
So after you met Tony, you had these phone calls. There was a...
I called him before I met him.
Okay. There was an apparent fading away of the character. So it wasn't like a...
The me?
The me, yeah.
But that's not in any way recognized.
No.
It's always after the fact. And for the me, it's a process, and it's all very important. It was all really important. Whatever was happening, it was all really important.
Yeah. But being timeless, that was a story. So
What's that?
That was a story.
That is
Yeah.
a story.
Yeah.
Nothing caused this.
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
doesn't come from anywhere. This, sitting on a chair, these words, they don't come from anywhere. It's nothing chairing and speaking, and listening, and nodding. It's all just nothing. It's a story.
Mhm. So you could say we live in the world of stories. As a me.
As a me, it lives in a world. Its world is a story.
Mhm.
That's right.
And then we just believe them to be
No,
true.
it's not a belief. It's not an activity. It is a function. The function is I am real. That reality implies that everything has meaning and purpose. Everything has intention. Time is real. Space is real. There are real activities that lead from one place to another, and my life has a goal, which means I am going to try to find whatever that is to become fulfilled. Money, whatever, it makes no difference, has no relevance what the search is.
And that's why it's almost impossible to satiate those urges, because
Oh, it is
it's all
impossible.
Inherently empty.
Oh, it is impossible.
Yeah.
Because the fundamental need comes out of the sense of loss in separation. And so it's hopeless to fill that. It's a basket with no bottom.
Yeah.
When it's passing through, it's okay, but when it's gone, and need is there again.
So every single me is a seeker inherently.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And every single one of, not them, but every single seeker, what's truly longed for in the end is this.
Yeah.
Is what is already. Everybody wants what is already.
I've heard it put in as far as like being a seeker or in the dream that that what it's looking for is what's seeing, and that's why I can't find that you are what you're looking for, and the me can never see that, so it's always seeking. So it's like and there's a sense of a me there, like that seeking energy is mechanical. It's just it's like powerlessness over that. It's just mechanical. Like
I find saying you are what you looking for misleading. I find that misleading because it truly is the experience of youing or meing.
Well, I mean, I guess if you drop the phrasing, like you are what you're looking for, but more like what is this?
Yeah.
This is what it is. It's only this.
Well, that's kind of how it sounds when I talk.
I mean, if the sense of me seems to not be there, and there's not seeking happening, it's almost like that's still running in the background, almost like
what is
the mechanical energy.
Not in any sense. Not at all.
Like if it's not looking at it, and then when 20 years passes and it decides, it pops up like it's.
It was never there. How could it pop up?
The sense of it,
It was never there. It was a dream. It never happened. That is one of the, I don't know what to say, revelations or whatever. When it apparently stops happening, it's absolutely clear. Never happened. It's the end of something that never happened. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Yeah.